I hit the wrong note, and I guess maybe that's kind of fitting.
Par for the course.
Jim, we have a little bit of audio, not too much, but a little bit. We're going to start with some Tony Khan audio. We'll end with some audio about Tony Khan. But to follow up on something you mentioned during the review of the MJF Adam Page match, MJF won a contract. What was it? The Casino Gauntlet?
Yes.
Was that what it was? The Casino Gauntlet?
Yeah, I think isn't it? Well, I guess that's it, but it's their version of the Money in the Bank where you can cash the contract in, for a guaranteed title shot.
That's right. I guess that's the best way to say it. Their version of Money in the Bank. Here's Tony Khan talking to the wrestling media or whoever's in that room about their Money in the Bank.
It's so great to see all of you. And before I start answering your questions, I have some questions for all of you, if it's okay, if you would indulge me. And I want your honest feedback because I really care about talking. I care about talking to people who love wrestling. I care about talking to the fans, and I understand you're working media. You're not necessarily here as fans. But if you would lend me your honest opinions, I don't want you to BS me. I want to hear what you really think. I want fan feedback.
Oh, boy.
Do you think for a company that takes pride in its champions, that takes pride in the sport of pro wrestling, I really care about the integrity of the promotion and the championships. Do you think that the way MJF has conducted himself in recent weeks at trying to verbally execute and then renege on an execute, I don't think that's personally, I don't think that's how a championship
What is he saying?
Or somebody who
He's asking a question of the assembled media there. He has a question for them, but he wants them to think of it as fans. Even though
he doesn't care if they hurt his feelings. He wants to know their real opinions, and then he goes into goddamn a storyline.
I like when he stopped himself on the way to say, I care about talking to fans. He just said, I care about talking. And I think that was really apropos considering. But
all right. Keep going.
Tony Khan,
who has been, potentially could be a great champion, should conduct himself. I don't think that's in the spirit of the contract executions. How do you feel? Do you agree with that?
Let's strip him of it.
Oh.
No?
Oh.
Sorry.
What in the world?
What do you think?
Trying to contribute.
What do you?
That's Renee. She's now like the sidekick during the scrums, I guess, to kind of get Tony to behave or as best as possible. Kind of like her traveling around with her husband.
Interpret into English, possibly.
Maybe, but she's there to supervise things, and she chimes in every now and then.
Do you think? I don't think that's in the spirit of the sport. I would be interested to hear feedback. Is there anybody that yes, what do you think?
Well, let's stop it there for a second. Jim, what are your thoughts on a wrestling promoter asking for feedback about one of his gimmicks that he has booked from the assembled media?
It doesn't make any sense because he said, now I want to know, don't BS me. I want to know your real opinion, like it would be treading on hurting his feelings. How do you think MJF's been conducting himself? Well, what difference if they say, no, he's been a complete prick? I think you got to take the whole thing away from him. How is that? Why would you need to soft soap that to the promoter? I don't understand what he's doing.
Well, maybe he'll clarify for you. Hold on. Here's whoever he solicited a question from or an answer from.
You think I should?
I think that's
Yeah. Well, here's what I think. I think that I want AEW to be different, and I've been listening to the feedback and the voice of the fans, and I think people want the championships and the sport of pro wrestling to have integrity. We're having the best year in the history of AEW, and I think a lot of it is that we're willing to listen to the fans, that we care about the sport, and we want the fans to believe in what we're doing. I think it's really important that when we have a contract execution and the integrity of the championship, that we can maintain the dignity of the sport. I also think it's very, very important to...
You know, it's almost like he wants to be a kayfabe Sam Mushnick or something. Like, I'm here to protect the business. Well, but then he goes back into kayfabe.
The integrity and the credibility and the professionalism, where was that when the other night the guy poured gasoline over the guy's head and threatened to set him on fire? Where was that when they did the flamethrower angle or the blood drinking angle? He's talking about the execution of a contract that they win in a fucking battle royal having more of an effect on the integrity and the credibility and the forthrightness of pro wrestling than this outlaw bullshit that Moxley's been doing as his world champion for the past 6 months.
That night, that was the night of the ear stabbing.
Yes, what is...
Well, a little bit more on this.
I'm telling you, some machine needs to scan the brain.
Let's go back to the brain scanner.
Promote championship matches. I don't want to have a big ticket championship match that we are unable to advertise. And also, I don't really want to necessarily utilize a stipulation here that's being utilized other places. I'm not trying to duplicate what other people is doing. I really believe we are our own promotion. That's why going forward, I want to set the tone that from now on, I think the right thing to do is all contract executions should be on at least a week's notice so we can properly promote the matches, so that we can properly give the fans notice.
He's worried now about properly promoting the matches
and have the integrity of a championship match. And I think it's for the best for us. I think it's for the best for our media partners and for the integrity of the championship, if that makes sense. Wow.
I love a plan.
Great. Thank you.
I love a plan. I love a schedule.
I think it makes a lot of sense. Thank you. And going forward, that's what we're going to do. And I really appreciate your giving me that opportunity to kind of take your temperature on it. I think it's the right thing to do.
Take your temperature on it. Nobody said a goddamn peep. They didn't say boo to a goose, as Adrian Street would say.
The only person that said anything was his Ed McMahon, which is...
Yeah, you are correct, sir. Yes,
Tony,
sir.
you're so great,
Yes,
Tony.
sir.
Well, what are your thoughts to try to get some of this to get somewhere?
Basically, nobody can cash in now on a moment's notice when the champion is down. You've got to give them a week's advance notice, which kind of kills the whole idea of having a title shot anytime you want it. That's the fucking hook on the whole thing. But does it matter? Does any of this matter in AEW? It's all gibberish. What title? Everybody's got one. Some people got several. When Dustin Rhodes had surgery, they had to have 4 different tournaments.
Well, what do you think about the idea that they're doing a Money in the Bank contract kind of thing, but they want to differentiate themselves from the exact idea they took?
Well, yes, they want to steal the idea and then do it differently, but they're cutting out probably the best thing about the goddamn deal that they took. So I don't do it.